It's a familiar Cork team that starts with probably the best half-back line in the business. John Gardner, Ronan Curran and Sean O'Halpine have somehow rediscovered their youthful flair and are playing like 18-year-olds again. In contrast, of course, let's go back to the full back line. It's a massive day for Shane O'Neill and Owen Cadigan, who play in their very first Munster hurling final. At least Brian Murphy has been there before. Here's a question: is this the best half-back line ever? Onto the midfield, there's good news for Cork because Tom Kenny has recovered from a hamstring problem and returns to partner Cathal Naughton. The O'Connor twins, Ben and Jerry, are named at 10 and 11 with man of the match from the semi-final over Limerick, Niall McCarthy, completing the half-forward line. The main man at the edge of the square, Asaka O'Halpine's performance is vital. If he produced the goods, then expect Pat Horgan and team captain Kieran Fraggy Murphy to lend their considerable support. Onto the Waterford team, and it looks quite familiar. Goalkeeper Clinton Hennessy is in his 5th championship season and clearly remains his manager's Davy Fitzgerald's first choice keeper. He's been in very good form right throughout the league and championship. There was speculation about who would wear 3. Liam Lawler is named at fullback, but will he start there? There's one thing you can guarantee: Owen Murphy and Noel Connors will be in the corners. Tony Brown may be 37 years of age, but he's playing like an 18-year-old. Rock solid at 5, he joins Brick Walsh and Declan Prendergast for a very strong half-back line. Richie Foley was a serious doubt with a nasty finger injury, but he's been given the all-clear to play at 9 beside Ballygunner's Shane O'Sullivan. All-star 07, Stephen Malumphy leads the Waterford attack with Kevin Moran on one wing and Owen Kelly, who's extremely doubtful, getting the nod on the other side. And at top of the right is John Milan, who seems to have a special liking for Munster finals and joins Shane Walsh and Owen McGrath in the inside line. They're the teams, and it's back to you, Michael. It's a championship that began way back in 1889, and here 121 years later, that tradition, that pride, that honour is passed on and rests proudly on the shoulders today of the hurlers of Cork and Waterford. Think Munster Hurling Championship, think Christy Ring, Mick Mackey, Jimmy Doyle. Think special moments like John Fenton's goal against the late Tommy Quaid in 1987. Think Davy Fitzgerald's penalty in 1995 and the Banner County's first Munster title in 63 years. And think of Waterford here just 8 years ago when they ended a Munster famine after 39 years. Is the Munster Championship important, you ask? You bet it is. Welcome to Semple Stadium, Thurles. It's July 11th, 2010. It's Cork against Waterford. The Leesiders are chasing Munster title number 52, the Daishies title number 9. Michael Dignan joins me in the commentary position. It's Johnny Ryan's very first Munster final, and amazingly, it's their very first Munster Championship match in his refereeing career. It began 13 years ago. He's from Boherlahan, Doual in County Tipperary, and he is the man in charge. And away we go. Cork won the toss, playing from right to left. First ball in towards Owen Cadigan, and inspirational right throughout the game against Tipperary. He launches it high and long down towards Asake. Cork have possession. There's a chance here. Lovely rob by Owen Murphy, and certainly putting the pressure on the Cork attacker. Niall McCarthy can't control it. It's a line ball for Waterford.
Yeah, Marty, great atmosphere. A little bit of a scuffle there with Tony Brown and Niall McCarthy, middle of the field as well. But looking at the Waterford lineup, as I expected, I didn't get a chance to come in before the start of the game, but Stephen Malumphy has gone wing forward on Sean Og. We have Kevin Moore in the centre and Owen Kelly on the far wing, and John Milan in at full forward. So, great atmosphere here. You'll have a little bit of this now in the first few minutes.
The sorting out period has started.
Phenomenal atmosphere here, Marty. Unbelievable. All morning down around town, and a huge crowd here. Brilliant atmosphere.
It's a very special competition, and those who might be in favour of an open draw will always find it difficult to be passed at Congress because primarily the Munster Hurling Championship is so strong. Tony Brown launching it over towards Owen McGrath. Outside him is Owen Kelly. There's a drop of the hurley there, and there's a free for Cork. There's no breeze, no rain, thankfully, after yesterday. It was terrible all across the country. We had a little bit of sunshine earlier. It's cloudy, but it really is. If you wanted a beautiful day for the game of hurling, this is it. John Gardner drops it in towards Isaki. Cork captain is there, but so too are Waterford defenders. Plenty of them, in fact. Comes out far as Richie Foley. A hand pass coming from Noel Connors. Dropping it long. Ronan Kern is there for Cork, so too Owen Cadigan. It's a scramble. Comes out beyond the 20-metre line. Shane Walsh is there. Knocked away from Ronan Kern. Sean O'Gallagher. Hand pass inside first. Cahill knocked it. Intercepted here by Shane O'Sullivan. It's a very high ball and it's straight between the posts.
Yeah, that's
Good stop by the Ballygunner Gunnerman.
Great score, Marty. Shane O'Sullivan. He had options inside him, but had the confidence to have a go 50 yards out over the bar, and great start for Shane. You know, Marty, it'll be interesting to, you know, what tactics come into play. Traditionally, I think these two teams just go out and hurl. It's ball. It's, you know, I think it was Tom Kenny said it's like giving two kids a ball and letting them away, and that's the way it seems to have started. You know, there's no short puckets, nothing fancy, just straight direct hurling.
Cahill Naughton getting the pass from his club mates. Newtown Shandrum star Ben O'Connor, and Cahill Naughton registers the first score of the match for the Leesiders.
Yeah, what a key player he has become for Cork. You know, his pace is unbelievable. I think midfield is his best position, and you know, expect him to get a few more scores today.
Straight down the middle, Ronan Kern has lost his helmet and is still on the ground. Meanwhile, Tom Kenny gathers possession, lays it off first. Cahill Naughton, he loves to run with the slither on the hurley. He steadies himself and he gets his second point. That's a brilliant start by the Cork midfielder. Has already got 3 points in the championship over 2 games, but you can see he started with great confidence. Still down injured, centre half back Ronan Kern. And you can see Dr. Con Murphy is there and the medical team. This is what happened.
John Gardner caught him coming across there and take a fairly heavy knock to put Ronan Kern down. You can see it there. John Gardner just ran into him coming across.
Into him, yeah. Made his debut, as you can see, 7 years ago against Clare. He's now 29 years of age. St. Finbarr's man. Dennis Walsh watching on, but I think he's confident enough that Dr. Con Murphy can take care of him. Owen McGrath leaves the ball behind him. Shane O'Sullivan. Backfires left half back Declan Prendergast, who despite all the speculation, would he play fullback or wing back, stays at number 7. He scored 5 times against Limerick in the Munster semi-final. Niall McCarthy. Heavy challenge on Patrick Horgan. Ball inside towards Shane Welch. Owen Cadigan staying with him. It's John Milan that has the ball, and it's across the face of the goal and wide. John Milan looks so different with the helmet on, doesn't he, Mike?
He does, but still the same style. Owen Cadigan kept him, pushed him out to the wing, and really wanted to expect John to put over. But you know, a bit of nerves early on. I think Richie Foley will have to tighten up there on Cahill Naughton. You know, Richie has only been around the panel for a while, probably his first Munster final today, and he needs to get a lot tighter.
Quick puck out. Well anticipated before the game, and Waterford weren't watching. Comes to centre half forward Jerry O'Connor, and that ball is wide for Cork's first wide of the match.
Yeah, Martin, you see Jerry O'Connor, very intelligent hurler. He's way out in the middle of the field trying to drag Brick Walsh away from the centre back position, because Brick will be trying to give cover to Liam Lawler and give him a hand with Isaki, but Jerry O'Connor gone way out the field away from him.
Loose ball again. Tom Kenny and Shane O'Sullivan battling there, the 2 number 8s. Picked up here by the Waterford captain, Stephen Malumphey. Didn't gain any ground. Well cleared down the field by Shane O'Neill. That's going to be a sideline ball. Ger Hoy, the linesman from Clare, indicates it's going to be a Cork ball. And Jerry O'Connor is not going to take it. Twin brother Ben says, I'll have a go from here.
Normally very accurate from these. That could be the Putting the kibosh on him here now. But
captain of the Cork All-Ireland winning team of 2004. Cuts it well, but it's bending in the wrong direction, I'm afraid. Ball wide. They really are expecting a wonderful game of hurling here. The history would suggest Cork and Waterford always high scoring. 316 has been registered numerous times over the last 10 years. Carl Naughton drops this in. Goalkeeper Clinton Hennessy anticipates. Calmness personified for Tony Brown. Centre back Michael Brick-Walsh goes long. There's a little touch, slightest little touch. Comes down for John Milan. Over the bar.
And Marty, that's great hurling. Clinton Hennessy showed great awareness there, off his line very quickly. Little short pass out, and Tony Brown slipped it on to Brick, and a lovely ball in front of Milan over the bar. Lovely, simple hurling, great score.
Not quite 8 minutes. They're level for the second time. Straight down the middle. Good anticipation here by Stephen Malumphey. Actually, his hurl got stuck in the grass, which is rather unusual, particularly in Simple Stadium. Picked up here by Shane O'Sullivan. Has to go back far as Declan Prendergast from Ardmore. Comes far as Jerry O'Connor. To Ben. Back to Jerry. The twins are playing it between themselves over the far side. Declan Prendergast interrupts. Gives it down for as Carl Naughton. Looking very sharp in the early stages, posing a few problems for Waterford. Jerry O'Connor thought about having a go. Didn't do the side step fast enough. And well swallowed up. Owen Kelly. Crossfield ball. John Milan comes out to try and gather. Still in play, not anymore. Line ball this time for Waterford. Shane O'Sullivan is going to come across to take this. Former Fitzgibbon Cup winning player with WIT. That was, of course, 2 years ago. He's now on the Waterford senior hurling team for the last 6 years. You might recall he replaced the suspended John Milan in 2004, and you can see why. He is now an integral part of the Waterford setup. That's his second point. We've had quite impressive play by the midfielders. Shane O'Sullivan for Waterford has now scored twice. Carl Naughton likewise.
Yeah, a very impressive player. He's improved an awful lot over the last couple of years, and as you say, he's a key man now, and that's a great skill to bring to the game as well.
Owen Kelly into the centre. Ronan Curran battling with Kevin Moore. Picked up here by John Milan from right along the sideline. That's a cracking point. He looks like a man in form.
He's a Martin Ferguson. When is he not? You know, his record for Waterford is just unbelievable. Every day he goes out, he's averaged nearly 4 points a game in Championship hurling, which is incredible. And I don't think there's very many other forwards in the country that could score a point like that, going away from the goals over his shoulder. Super score.
He was literally along the sideline.
He was, and you know, sometimes you were saying, was it the right option? But he's able to do it and put them over. You know, he does miss the odd one, but very, very accurate, and he's lively. At full forward, he can break left and right.
Kevin Moore seems to have picked up for a little injury here, back at the ear. Former Waterford Young Hurler of the Year 5 years ago, Footballer of the Year 6 years ago. And of course you might recall that De La Salle, his club, won the Munster club a few seasons as well. Clubmate of John Milan. Yeah,
where he plays centre back and wing back, you know, and he's doing a job at centre forward for Waterford now. Big strong man, and Ronan Curran hasn't caught any balls yet there, but Milan at full forward, he can go left and go right. You know, I think it brings him into the game more, and I think it's a good move to have him in there.
Just to emphasise, Kevin Moore is playing centre forward. John Milan is at full forward. Great catch by Niall McCarthy. Good block down. Nice layoff, effectively for Jerry O'Connor. Coming through the middle is Tom Kenny. Gets by the challenge of Shane O'Sullivan. Tries to scoop it back far as Pat Horgan. Glenn Rover's man tries to make a little bit of space. Ben O'Connor is calling outside. Gets by the initial challenge. Floats this one in. And that is over the bar. Good play by Cork. Didn't panic. Little bit of experience. Lots of patience. Nice balance. Of course, it has to be Ben O'Connor.
Yeah, great catch there by Niall McCarthy. I see Tony Brown there showing all his experience, didn't panic, stays with him, great block down. But Cork are having to work very, very hard for them scores. There was 4 or 5 passes, and as you said, it kept ahead.
Brilliant catch by Ronan Kern. Gives it out for us, John Gardner. It's aimed for another north side. Clinton Hennessy kept his eye on the ball all the time. Comes out for us, Declan Prendergast. His mother Mary actually played camogie for Cork, and I'm sure she's shouting for Waterford this afternoon. Ball is going to be a sideline ball. Which direction is it going to be? It looks like it's going to be a Waterford ball. Going to take this is Owen Kelly. Former Mount Sign man, of course, now playing his club hurling with Passage. Scored 6 times against Clare. Drops this one in, easily anticipated. Referee Johnny Ryan blows the whistle. Shane Walsh was in there, but the referee is going to give a throw ball here. Kevin Moran and Ronan Curran. Curran gets it out for his Tom Kenny. Tussling with Shane O'Sullivan. That's good work. Missed out the semi-final against Limerick with hamstring problems. Looks quite sharp for this Munster final. Scoops it inside. Shane O'Sullivan, to his credit, stuck to his task. Despite the fact it looked like he was chasing him and failing, he did rather well.
He did, Marty, but great work right there by the Waterford. That's the second or third time in the game where there's been 2 and 3 lads chasing back, and Shane O'Sullivan won one good possession there. I'm intrigued with this battle here between Jerry O'Connor and Brick Walsh. Jerry is playing 100 yards from the goals, and if Cork get the running game going, and they're going to try to isolate him, bring him into the game with the hand pass, and if they strike it long, Brick Walsh should be back. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top.
Owen Kelly, he was on crutches last Thursday with a foot injury. Remarkable recovery. Comes down for his Cathal Naughton. Niall McCarthy is down this side. Naughton has the time to go long down towards Isaki O'Halpine. Is he being held? The referee certainly thinks so. Liam Lawler with the black and amber helmet, easily identifiable. Referee indicating to Isaki, continue on, you've won yourself a free. Ben O'Connor going to take this. Saki O'Halpine off camera is having a word for some reason with the umpire. And there's also a little bit of unhappiness from the Waterford supporters because Ben O'Connor had stolen a few metres.
A little bit of gamesmanship there. I think Asaki is looking for the help of the umpires. He thinks he's been held off the ball.
Ben O'Connor,
wide.
That looks like a tailed right. The umpires are a little bit doubtful, and the white flag has...
I think that was wide, Marty.
I think it was. Yeah. I think it curled away.
Have a look at it here now. He didn't look that comfortable over it, actually, Ben. Struck it.
Just watch the tail of it here.
Yeah, that's wide, John.
That is wide. But it registers as a point. Cork and Waterford level for the third time. 15 minutes into the first half. Sideline ball for the Leesiders.
Yeah, I think we're going to have enough talk, I think, tonight on the Sunday game about the football match and the ball that was thrown into the net. Definitely a throw. I agree with the football panelist earlier on, but hopefully there's not a point in this tonight, because that's definitely wide.
And for those who don't know, Michael Dignan is a former Offaly footballer as well.
Well, you wouldn't need to know a lot about football to know it was thrown into the net. So.
Ben O'Connor with the sideline cut. Drives it wide. Let's just watch this.
Sorry, Marty.
Was it a free? Was it a ball wide from the free? Here it comes.
Yeah, outside the post.
Stephen Malumphey. Ball fell kindly from him. He's going for it. Lays it off as Milan, and it's gone wide. Donlo Cusick advanced off his line, forcing Milan to miss the opportunity.
Yeah, Malumphey did very well there. Great run down the centre. Hand pass a little bit, onto the ground. I just misstruck it there. Really, that should have been a goal. A better hand pass from Malumphey. If it had gone to hand, Milan would have buried it. But it was a bad pass in front of him, and he misstruck the ground ball.
Miscued his shot, John Milan. Richie Foley lays it back for as Michael Brick Walsh. Owen Cadigan going back to gather. The referee spots the foul by Shane O'Neill. I think it's the correct call by the match official, and it's a free in just a little bit to the left of the post.
Yeah, definitely pulled down. You know, I always enjoy watching Owen McGrath. He's so vibrant and full of energy, and you know, he's running all over the place there. And Shane O'Neill, it's a good move again tactically. I think Shane O'Neill is so fast and so athletic. Put someone like Owen McGrath is going to keep him busy, and you know, just as pacey as him.
Twice an All-Star, 0-2, 0-8. Owen Kelly. Straight over the crossbar. That's his first in this Munster final. Puck out by Donald O'Cusick. Tony Brown got his fingertips to it, didn't quite hold it. Comes down for us, Jerry O'Connor. Coming through the middle is Tom Kenny. Taken out of it. Taken down. Free to Cork. Johnny Ryan not indulging with a yellow card here. Looked like he was going for the black book, but yeah, I think it would have been a bit harsh.
It was a trip, I think, but he's trying to let the game flow, but that was a blatant free. And the Cork seem to be favouring this side of the field here, pucking the ball down to Niall McCarthy, trying to, you know, maybe expose Tony Brown, but Tony is standing his ground so far.
Ben O'Connor drives that one wide. Again.
He actually doesn't look comfortable over the frees.
No,
brilliant free taker, but he looked a bit jumpy there over the first couple.
Umpire didn't help him on this occasion. Ball sent forward down towards Shane O'Neill, playing in his very first Munster hurling final. Pass outside, didn't quite go where he intended. Going to be a sideline ball for the Daishies. Shane O'Sullivan over there again, from Ballygodder, also former Munster club champions in the past. And of course his older brother Billy played corner forward for so many years with Waterford. Sends it into the centre. As always, the hard-working John Milan manages to get it back towards Richie Foley. Swinging this across is Shane O'Sullivan, and that's wide. 3 wides for Waterford. Heading towards the 20th minute of this Munster hurling final.
Yeah, we should see it settling down and opening up a little bit now. You know, the first 20 minutes, a lot of nerves. Here's Jerry O'Connor way away from the centre forward position again.
And again, the quick puck out from Donald O'Cusick. Great hook. Ben O'Connor just a little bit slow in delivering it long. Jerry O'Connor seems to touch the ball on the ground. Waterford chasing, not just individually, but collectively. That looks like Owen McGrath stepped over the sideline. Sideline ball for Cork. Very much the man in form, I hear, in terms of training. Owen McGrath winning his place back based on what's happening in the training fields around County Waterford.
Yeah, I think that's what players like as well. You know, if that's the, you know, it's fair on everybody. If you're doing it in training and you get picked on form, that's the way it should be. I think Dan is happy enough not to be starting to maybe come in with 20 to go and maybe grab a goal.
Battle over the far side. Comes out for us Jerry O'Connor. Niall McCarthy gathered it, but it had crossed the line. It is a line ball, however. First counting. Once again, it's Ben O'Connor going to take this. Thought about a quick sideline cut, but the instruction has come, have a go. Has great height, but it's once again right and wide. Not his norm, not what we're used to.
No, it isn't, and you know, there's always be a debate about these line balls. They're great when they go over, but you know, the ball, it's a free puck way down the field when you miss them.
Kevin Moran got a hand to it. Richie Foley trying to gather it up on the stick into the left hand. This has all the ingredients of a throw ball. Here comes Niall McCarthy, bursting forward, scooping it in towards Isaki O'Halpine. Liam Lawler is there. Tony Brown nipping in. Owen Murphy challenging. Carl Naughton. Nobody there except Declan Prendergast. Ben O'Connor arrives, but a little bit too late. Keep ball cheeky, it has to be said, by Waterford between Clinton Hennessy and Declan Prendergast. Ronan Kern fouled by Kevin Moore. Free for the Cork centre half back.
Yeah, great catch again by Ronan. Well, he fumbled it and then won it on the rebound, but Declan Prendergast had a lot of time there. He just ploughed it down the middle. There's loads of space inside in the corners, and that's where they should be trying to put the ball.
27-year-old John Gardner, an all-star 5 years ago. Down towards Patrick Hoare. Clinton Hennessy. Whoa, that was pretty close as Fraggy came in to challenge. Waterford survive. Good clearance down far as Richie Foley. Gets by the challenge of Cathal Naughton. Goes for a long ball again. Down towards John Milan. Fouled by Owen Cadigan. Free for Waterford. It's going to be an interesting tussle, Michael, between John Milan and Owen Cadigan.
Yeah, Milan is doing well. He scored 2 points in play, got out in front again there. He's getting plenty of possession, and in fairness, there's not that much ball going down to him. He just showed in front of him there. Cadigan's unlucky there. I don't think he did push on the back. John knew what he was doing, got out in front, and once you get out there and bend your back, there's a good chance you get the free. It was taking a while to get going, Martin. 5 points to 4 after 23 or 4 minutes. But I think a lot of lads squaring up to each other, and sometimes you have to win your battle on your own man before the game can open up, and that's certainly what's happening. But I think Waterford will be happy, especially with Isaki and Liam Lawler, not very few balls going in there between them, and Lawler doing well.
Owen Kelly, the umpires have a quick look at each other. Ball wide is the
unusual
final
for him.
verdict.
Yeah, unusual for him. Doesn't normally miss frees. Neither does Ben O'Connor. So it just shows you the nerves get to everybody, no matter how long you're on the go. It's still a Munster final, and I suppose the big thing today is you're into a semi-final if you win this, and you're on the opposite side of the draw for Kilkenny. So there is a big prize.
Johnny Ryan is now going down to the Killinen end to have a word with his umpires. Willie Cross and Michael Ferncombe. Now, what will Johnny Ryan do, having been supplied with the information? Nothing really, but store it away.
To be honest, Marty, I've been keeping an eye on it. I haven't seen a whole lot. Lawler is very, very close to Isaki, but I didn't see anything untoward going on.
25 minutes played in the first half, and Cork have not scored in the last 10 minutes. Richie Foley sets it down towards John Milan. Coming back to gather, this is Brian Murphy. Driving it long, Ronan Kerr. Good hands, Niall McCarthy. Good vision, good call, Ben O'Connor. Tom Kenny has gone inside. Good move by Cork. He's going to go for the goal. Clinton Hennessy saves. Back out around the middle of the field. Richie Foley. Good hands from him. Abbey sideman. Chased by 3 Cork players. Tries to flick it into the middle. Cathal Naughton. Good calling by Sean O'Halpine. Not exactly involved very much so far, but when he arrives on the scene, there is only one Sean O'Halpine. First point in the Munster final for the left half back. 33 years of age since April. Good score.
Yeah, the 12 forwards that started the game. Ben O'Connor's got 1 point from play, and John Milan has got 2. They're the only. So we have 10 forwards who haven't scored from play yet.
Level for the 4th time. 26 minutes. Shane O'Neill fouled. Free for Cork. This is the push. That Cork half back line of Gardner, Curran and O'Halpine. 6'2", 6'1", 6'2". Dropping it into 6'7". Another O'Halpine. Isaki. Didn't quite reach it. Comes out far as Declan Prendergast. Good play. Owen Kelly. In the centre, Shane O'Sullivan. Up far as John Milan. Knocked away by Cadigan. Comes back out for his watch. It's Cadigan that has it. Sean O'Halpine calling for it. Better option is to give it to Colin Naughton. Goes down the wing. Cherhoe, the linesman, has his flag up. Ball across the line. Sideline ball. Well, we were expecting a thriller, but Ger Loughnane, when we went to studio before this game, said he wasn't quite anticipating that thriller. So far, we haven't got it.
No, it's very tense, and like the likes of that, they're ball straight out over the line. There's a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes being made by both sides.
Good sideline cut by Shane O'Sullivan. John Gardner couldn't get there ahead of Owen Kelly, but there is a foul on Owen Kelly, and that's going to be a free, dead straight in front of the posts, between the 45 and 65 metre line. Here's the challenge.
Yeah, there's a trip there.
Ken McGrath is warming up along the sideline, and there is an anticipation that he's going to be introduced. Owen Kelly, meanwhile, gets on with the business of taking the free and taps it over the bar for his second point.
Yeah, well, if the knee is okay and he's supposed to be in great form in training, why not have him on the field? One of the best players that we've seen over the last 20 years. Here he comes.
Big moment for Ken McGrath, and there is a change around the midfield. It's Richie Foley, who of course has that finger injury. Happened here in Semple Stadium last Sunday, the last puck of the game actually, when they were playing amongst themselves and training, and required stitches on that left finger. So how will Ken McGrath perform? Ball down towards Ken McGrath, picked up instead, rather Owen McGrath, pass given astray, and he gathers it himself. There's John Milan. He can score on the left, half blocked, good defending. There's a follow-on between Milan and John Gardner. Continues down towards the full forward line. Here's Kevin Moran crossing it. It's 2 against 2 here. Shane Walsh knocks it down for his Donald Cusick. Right decision by the Cork keeper. Goes for distance. Ben O'Connor challenged there by Declan Prendergast. Owen Murphy lays it off to Owen Kelly. It's well wide. The shooting is not great.
No, the shooting is poor, but I think Waterford will be happier. Here's John Milan now. Just back down, yeah. I see Shane O'Neill now following through. No need for that. But both backlines well on top. And I think Waterford, coming into the game, everyone making Cork favourites. Most people, I went for Waterford myself, but I think they'll be very happy the way the game is going for them, and they're growing confidence.
Great catch by Shane O'Sullivan. Nice little hook there by Rob by Tom Kenny. The arrival of Ken McGrath just might be a blood substitution. Let's see. Mind you, Richie is taking off the helmet, so it could be a permanent arrangement.
I'd say so. I definitely troubled by the finger, I'd say, and he was under pressure from Colin Naughton.
Shane O'Sullivan drops it in. There's a chance here for Owen Kelly. Will he go for it? Saved by Donald Cusick. Great control. Excellent stick one by the Cork goalkeeper, Colin Naughton. Aiming for Isaki O'Halpine at the edge of the square. It's a big one. Pulls on it. Clinton Hennessy controls it. Sends it straight back down into the middle of the field. Sean O'Halpine, Shane O'Sullivan. Good calling to Ken McGrath. Gives it low towards Milan. Gets away from Colin Naughton. Was he tripped?
Definitely foul.
Certainly looked like a foul. Tom Kenny gives it long. Comes down towards Pat Horgan. Back there is Michael Brick Walsh. The game stepping up in tempo just a little bit. Where's Owen Murphy? Again gives it long. John Gardner underneath this. Owen McGrath arrives. Shane O'Sullivan. Referee blows the whistle for the foul on the Waterford midfielder.
Yeah, just watch John Milan out in front, did well, and just flicks the ball back past Carl Knocklin here, and Carl just catches him with the hurl. Definitely a free in.
Owen Kelly going to take this free. A few centimetres inside the Cork 65. 4 minutes, 3 minutes in fact to go to the break. It's looking good. The umpire is going for his flag. 3 points, 3 frees for Owen Kelly. Waterford ticking over nicely. So we can confirm the arrival of Ken McGrath was a blood substitute, and Richie Foley is back on the playing arena again. But at least it shows that Ken McGrath got a touch. It will do his confidence
Absolutely.
a bit of good if he is required on a permanent basis. Brick Walsh. Owen Murphy gives it long. Kevin Moore and Ronan Curran. Curran has to go back to gather the hurl. John Gardner is on the ground. Referee is going to give it through a ball here. Stephen Malumphey is 11, Tom Kenny 8. Jerry O'Connor just literally crawls over the sideline. Brian Gavin from Offaly, the linesman at the far side, indicates it's a Waterford ball. Shane O'Sullivan, regular cutter of these sideline balls, he'd be disappointed with that. And away come Cork. Tom Kenny, Ben O'Connor runs into a cul-de-sac that has Waterford written all over it. Referee blows the whistle.
I think that's, yeah. No, I think he indicated steps. The hand pass looked fine.
Let's just check this.
No, great harrying again here. Shane O'Sullivan, and Brick gets onto the ball here. You know, you're allowed to drive out 4 steps. I'd say there was very, very little in that.
Well, a little bit of
it's a thing. Well, it's a thing that kind of gets me about, and I'm not being critical of the referee, but on technical things like that, 4.5 steps, and then you'll see maybe a stroke being pulled a yard or 2 away from the ball. They don't seem to be able to at times get it, but I certainly feel that was a harsh one on Waterford.
And he was under severe pressure.
He was, yeah, but you know, he's driving out the ball. If he takes 4 or 5 steps.
2 minutes of additional time to be added on. Gives you an idea of the angle for Ben O'Connor. Dropping this in, Clinton Hennessy bats it out. Ben O'Connor's free taking very much a talking point in this first half.
Absolutely.
And indeed, right from the beginning, the body language for Ben over the ball wasn't a very comfortable one.
That's right. He came over here to take the first one just down in front of us, and he didn't look comfortable on it. And yeah, this is a very awkward one though as well for Clinton Hennessy. He's been very sharp. He's 3 or 4 balls to handle on his line, and he did well again there. He batted it way away from the goals and did well.
John Gardner scored 3 times in the championship so far, and this is his first in the Munster final. We're into injury time. First half of this Munster final, it really hasn't lived up to pre-match expectations. It's interesting, but by no means exciting. Ball breaks out. Hard-working Brian Murphy and Shane O'Neill in the Cork defence. Niall McCarthy just took his eye off it momentarily. Wins the possession back. 10 out of 10. For sheer effort. Paul Naughton is back there helping out his half-back line. 2 against 1 here. Bypasses them all. Fares Osaki O'Halpine. There's nobody in around the Waterford goalpost. Osaki has to go alone. Good work by Michael Brick Walsh. Clinton Hennessy does the cleaning up. Gets it out for his fullback, Liam Lawler, who last year was playing with the Waterford footballers. Off the fingertips of Richie Foley. Linesman would disagree. It says it's off a Cork man.
Yeah, Brick Walsh really, very influential in the first half, clearing up an awful lot of ball. And just repeat that statistic again, only one Cork forward has scored from play. Ben O'Connor's got 1 point, and John Mullane is the only Waterford forward to score, and he scored 2 points, and that's unbelievable really in a half of a Munster final, that we've 10 forwards on the field that haven't scored.
Cork full forward line, nobody has scored. 2 of the Cork half forward line, you're right.
You know, it's unusual, and at the end of the day, you know, you have to be putting it on the board or win and freeze or whatever, that's what you're there for, and you know, both backlines really on top.
Great sideline ball by Richie Foley, cut out by Ronan Kern. Ben O'Connor leaves it for Gardner, drives it over to the far corner for Sakio Halpine, and the referee Johnny Ryan blows the half-time whistle. Well, we were looking forward to a thriller, but it really hasn't materialised in the opening half. There was a bit of a sussing out period in the opening 2 or 3 minutes when there was a lot of handbag stuff going on. First half 35 minutes, 37 minutes, the sides level 4 times. Dominated by the defences, John Mullane, the only Waterford player to score from play. Owen Kelly scored 3 times from frees, and Shane O'Sullivan has contributed twice from midfield. Half time in the Munster Hurling final of 2010, it's Waterford 7 points, Cork 6. There is a little mist falling here in Semple Stadium, but as he said, it's likely to pass off. No changes on either side. We have a crowd of 35,375. When you consider that the capacity is 55,000, it's small enough for a Munster hurling final. Ball in down far is John Mullane. Owen Cadigan right beside it. Typical pose, Mullane makes an angle, scores his 3rd point. He's the only one of the Waterford forward line to score from play. Kevin Moran, Malumphey, Walsh or O'McGrath have yet to score. Yeah,
and a brilliant score there, Marty. You know, if you're coaching any young forward, that's it. Head back across where the space is and off his left side again over the bar. Interesting there from the puck out. It's the first time I've ever seen a centre back winning a throw in. They're supposed to be back outside the 70-yard line. Brick Walsh picked up the throw in there and straight into John Mullane over the bar.
Puck out by Donald O'Cusick, comes down towards Ben O'Connor. Declan Prendergast with him. Flicked outside, fires Shane O'Sullivan. Shane Walsh, 14 on his back, but he's playing at right half. This is indeed Shane Walsh. Looks like he was taken out of it by Ronan Curran, and it could well be, wouldn't be a surprise to me anyway, if Johnny Ryan gave the Cork centre back a yellow card for that. No, he's not giving him actually a yellow card. Would you have given him a yellow card, Michael?
We'll have another look at it here now. Shane Walsh, very clever here, just flicked the ball on. I think he stood his ground really more than anything. I probably wouldn't give him a yellow card.
Okay.
No.
Referee is correct.
But I was just going to say Shane Walsh hasn't been in the game much, but he is a clever hurler, and you know, just there, great awareness there, you know, to flick it on, and important. You know, I think it was a Gerald saying half time. Points are big today, low scoring game. Every point, you know, has to be put over.
Referee having another word with his umpires. I have to say, I don't see that much happening with Osaki, to be honest with you.
Osaki's down the other end now, but he was doing a lot of complaining even at half time going off, but I didn't really see anything going on. You know, if you want to play full forward at county level, you'll have to get used to a little bit of attention.
There's nothing going on in either square. Free by Owen Kelly, and that is over the bar. Four points for the left half forward, all of them from frees.
And a great start to the second half by Waterford now, and they'll be looking to kick on from here.
Donal Oakes puck out, picked up by Richie Foley, continues to work hard. Shane O'Neill got a touch to it and then continues on to vacuum up any loose ball. Faris Cahill knocked him, did well to win that particular exchange, considering he was under pressure. Down for Pat Horgan. Well picked up by Tony Brown. Straight down the middle. Batted away over first Shane Walsh. Under a little bit of pressure from Brian Murphy. Gets it inside for his own Kelly. Good score. It's his first from play, fifth in all, and he becomes the second Waterford hurler to score from play, joining John Mullane.
Yeah, Marty, and you know, great wing forward play there. He travelled about 50 yards to take that pass. He saw the thing develop, and you know, he left this wing here and travelled 40-50 yards across the field and on the run over the bar. Great score.
Took out by Dunlogue. Picked up here by Tom Kenny. Good run. On the turn. Far better play in the second half. And Tom Kenny joins his teammate Cathal Naughton on the score sheet. Both midfielders between them now have scored 3 points.
Yeah, and he does this an awful lot. You know, he's a great athlete and a super score off his hurl there over the bar. And as you say, a much better second half, much brighter start, and both teams now really starting to hurl.
Into the centre to Kevin Moore. Chased by Ronan Curran. Oh, that is beautiful. Much better out of Kevin Moore. Much better hurling already in the second half. Look at the stick work here. It's the balance. It's to be able to control the slither on the hurley. He was making an angle without putting it back into his hand. He hit it absolutely smack on.
He did, Marty, and I was complimenting Owen Kelly a minute ago on a great run he made, but he didn't run at all that time with Kevin Moore. Left him a bit isolated, and he had to do it the hard way, and a great score off his hurl again.
And this time Dunloe goes for distance. Brick Walsh. Ball goes long for as John Milan. Taken off his stick by John Gardner. Here's Owen McGrath. That a free? That a foul? No.
Yeah.
There's a follow on, and Owen McGrath is injured. John Gardner tripped over him as in a hot pursuit for possession. We'll see it again in a moment. Owen McGrath is now back on his feet. Cathal Naughton calling for it. Sean O'Halpine. Nice little jink to his left. Makes an angle. Gives it long towards younger brother Asaki. Gathers the ball cleanly. Fouled by Liam Lawler. And that's a free in for Cork.
Yeah, you see Owen McGrath coming across here onto the ball. I thought it was a free there, and Gardner going out now. In fairness to John Gardner, he was just trying to, you know, he actually, Owen McGrath got up into his way when he was trying to jump. He was trying to jump over him clearly.
Nothing in that incident involving Owen McGrath and John Gardner, but there was enough for the referee to show a yellow card. It would appear possibly Declan Prendergast or Liam Lawler. We'll confirm that for you. This free going to be taken by Ben O'Connor. Scored 5 times against Tipperary, remember, 3 of those from frees. 3 times against Limerick, and 1 of those was from a free. And this one is from a free as well. It's his second. From the sideline comes the news that the yellow card actually is for Owen Murphy. That's the Waterford right corner back. Here's Declan Prendergast, willing to run at the Cork defence. Dropping this in, and Dunloe opted to let it go wide.
Yeah, he came up the field against Clare and scored 3 great points in the second half of the last day, and he'd be disappointed with that one.
Playing a lot better, Declan Prendergast out on the wing. The shackles of playing full-back obviously lifted.
That's right, yeah, he's a fine player, fine athlete.
Stephen Malumphey, that's nice play. Dunloe Cusick comes off his goal line and almost lost control of it. I might have been having palpitations, but I'm sure Dunloe wasn't. Down fires Owen Murphy, challenge from Isaki, is from behind, but referee says continue on. Tony Brown to Murphy, under pressure. Linesman is waving his flag. Richie Foley has the slither, but it's a line ball, it would appear, for Cork.
Yeah, and great work by the Cork forwards there. We were complimenting the Waterford players in the first half for chasing, but it was 4 Cork players chased that and closed it down and eventually won the line ball.
Change of boot here for Niall McCarthy. This is what happened.
Yeah, the linesman had no doubt. He just dropped the ball out over the line. See Niall McCarthy putting on the 6 studs now because the drop of rain there is after making it very slippy on the surface.
Good ball, dangerous. Hurl goes up, ball comes down. Waterford under pressure, Tony Brown. Cathal Naughton. John Gardner calling for it back here. Hits it beautifully. It's his second point in the Munster final. And a bit like the minor match between Clare and Waterford, this second half is way better than the first.
It is, and that's one of the features of John Gardner. Well, he's a very complete wing back, but he's a great long range striker. If you give him room like that, he's going to punish you.
Sean O'Halpine getting some physio there. Declan O'Sullivan from Blackrock and his team. Dr. Con Murphy is indicating that Sean Og is in trouble here. And already there is a change. Substitute is being warmed up. It would appear that Raymond Ryan is going to be introduced. He normally plays midfield or indeed in the half back line for his club Sarsfields.
You could see Tom Kenny going back, or Sean Og looks to be in big trouble. Looks like a hamstring and looks like he's going off.
Disappointment for Sean O'Halpine. Ray Ryan is on. Whether this is temporary or permanent, we'll keep you informed. Puck out, comes straight down the middle. Referee blows the whistle for the foul. Just inside the Waterford 65-metre line. Jerry O'Connor took the knock, seemed to fall awkwardly. There seems to be a leg problem, as you can see.
Yeah, I thought he got a tap in the hand when he passed the ball, but obviously not. It looks like he's pulled something as well.
Ice being rubbed there to the back of the leg. Let's just watch this again. Yeah, he just seemed to fall awkwardly. Obviously the leg, something happened. Sean O'Halpine looks like that's where he's going to be for the rest of the second half. Meanwhile, John Gardner going to take the fray, hits it straight over the bar. 3 points for John Gardner. Change in the Waterford attack. Seamus Prendergast is coming on for Owen McGrath.
Yeah, he came on near left half forward and Owen Kelly got into the corner.
Loose ball again. Ronan Curran to Gardner. Tries to flick it away. There's Tom Kenny under severe pressure. Owen Kelly drives it forward for his Kevin Moran. It's just curling to the left and wide. Bit unlucky.
Yeah. I think with some of them, we'd be better off treading them into John Milan. They're out in the sideline like that. They're grand if to go over, but
substitution happening as well for Cork because Michael Cushan is on, and gone off is Jerry O'Connor. And Cushan is underneath this ball. Up goes the hand, doesn't quite gather it. Niall McCarthy is there, battling as always. Lays it off beautifully for Kyle Nocton. Fortunately, the finish didn't quite match the approach. Disappointment for the Newtown man.
It's going to be a completely different challenge now for Brick Walsh. Jerry O'Connor was moving all over the place. Cusson is a huge man, and they're going to be aiming the puck outs down there, and this could have a big bearing on how the game finishes, how this battle goes.
Puck out is in for Kevin Moran. Here's John Milan onto the left side. The umpires have a brief look at each other. The little wink, the little nod, and it's over the bar. He really is a special talent, John Milan. 4 points for the De La Salle man. Michael Cusson, big 6'7", to another 6'7", Asaki. Good hands, gets inside the cover of Lawler, brought to the ground, referee blows the whistle, and that is a free on the 20-metre line for Cork.
Yeah, that's your ultimate Route 1 hurling, great puck out from down low. Cusson wins it in the air and straight in, and much quicker ball. Like, people talk about a high ball, you need it coming at pace as well. He had that eye on it all the way, great catch, and Liam Lawler's going to have to be careful here now. He's after fouling 3 or 4 times there, clearly holding his hurl there, and that's what they need to do, get the ball in fast into Osaki.
Ben O'Connor takes the fray, gets his 3rd point.
We're still waiting for another Cork forward to score from play.
Yeah, we only
Ben
have.
O'Connor got 1 point from play. That's the only score the forwards have got. The midfielders have got 3, and John Gardner's got 1, and Sean Oga's got 1 from play.
Amazing. Ball comes down towards Cathal Nocton. Great engine. Gives it long. Great catch. Michael Brick Walsh goes for distance. Down towards John Milan. Batted away by Cadigan. Picked up by Ronan Kern. The direct route. And obviously Dennis Walsh is telling his players, give it long. Because it seems to be none of this more short passing. And they're going for the long ball.
Yeah, super catch there again by Brick Walsh.
Davy Fitz in charge of Waterford, 2 years and 1 month to be precise. He knows what it takes because he already won as a player 3 Munster championships. Looks like he's going to be taking off Liam Lawler and bringing on Jamie Nagle, aware immediately that the long ball to Isaki is going to cause him problems.
Yeah, I think that he's fouling a lot, maybe afraid of him getting maybe a yellow or a red card, and you see, I'd probably see Declan Prendergast switching back, I'd say, to full back, and Jamie Nagle going in on the wing. Yeah, that's what's happening, yeah.
So Declan Prendergast is now full back. Jamie Nagle, picked against Clare at wing back, resumes that position. They're coming again. They're giving it long. Michael Cusson. They tell you down in Cork he's a better hurler than a footballer, but certainly from what we're seeing he's already having an impact. Level for the 5th time. 50 minutes played. 20 to go. Ronan Kern. John Gardner. Aerial bombardment continues. This time, Waterford survive. John Gardner in the thick of it. So too, as always, Tom Kenny. Cork are on a roll here, but the finish is poor.
It is, and Seamus Prendergast has now gone in centre forward. Ronan Kern is having an absolutely outstanding game for Cork at centre back. He's clearing everything, and he's going to have to be quiet. And Cork have a lot of momentum now in the last 10 minutes or so.
Richie Foley, Tony Brown, Kevin Moore. His point, one of the features of the second half. John Gardner can plead innocence all day, but the referee is not going to change his mind. It's going to be taken by Owen Kelly. Dennis Walsh. Unique in the sense that he's managing in the past Waterford footballers and Cork hurlers.
That's right, yeah. Fine player he was at both hurling and football.
Owen Kelly gets his 6th point of the game. Again, it's a long puck out from Donald Cusick. There's a touch. There's a beautiful touch from Ben O'Connor. Isaki bearing down on goal. He's going for it. He's got it. Isaki held scoreless against Limerick. Scored 1-1 against Tipperary. He's back in form. Watch this for the little touch from Ben O'Connor. Isaki, once he got the ball in the hand, there was only one thing he was going to do, and crack it past Clinton Hennessy.
Yeah, great goal, Marty. He used his strength there, straightened up and took Noel Connors out of it, crashing into the net. Super goal.
Owen Murphy giving it back to his keeper, Clinton Hennessy. Has the time and the space to gain a bit of ground. It gives it really long. Kevin Moran just taking his eye off it momentarily. Michael Cusson dominating now at centre half forward. Down towards Kieran Fraggy Murphy. Doubtful before this Munster final with hamstring problems. Loses out to Owen Murphy. Clinton Hennessy. growing in confidence. Every year you see him, he seems to be a far better keeper. Shane O'Neill stopped this time by Richie Foley. Ball inside, there's nobody home. There's John Gardner whipping it down the right wing. Good work by Franklin. Murphy, Sars to Ben O'Connor, Newtown Shandrock. Another chance of a goal here, and there it is. They're scoring big time in Thurles. There is nothing quite like a Corkman and their love of hurling and their love of Semple Stadium.
Yeah, and you know what a player over the years, with last 10 years, since 99 really, outstanding. And again, when the chance was on, you know, he didn't panic, came through and just crashed it into the roof of the net. A great goal, and I think it's Kieran Murphy is limping off here now as well. Toddy O'Sullivan has gone in for him. But you know, Cork had all the momentum. We said that over the last 10 or 15 minutes, and they didn't really look like they were going to get a goal. You know, the gaps have opened up, and you'd have to say, you know, Liam Lawler had his Saki very quiet. He went off, and you know, I don't know if it had a bearing, but Ben O'Connor there on Jamie Nagle as well, through for the goal, where Declan Prendergast had been completely dominating them before he went out of there. So maybe that move has backfired for them.
And certainly the introduction of Michael Cusson down the middle for Cork has been vital. Ball sent forward towards John Milan. Runs on kindly. Kevin Moran. Brian Murphy is there for Cork. He's wearing number 4. Comes back out for Stephen Malumphey, captain of Waterford. They need a score to settle themselves, but that's an easy ball for Dunloe. A choice of players for the Cork keeper. Opts for John Gardner. Also available is Tom Kenny. The aerial bombardment continues. Here's Paddy O'Sullivan on the breaking ball, drives it wide.
Yeah, Waterford really need a score to settle them now. You know, they've been rocked by the 2 goals, but you know, there's still 15 minutes to go. If they can settle down, get a couple of points, they're not completely out of it. And see Dan Shanahan warming up now as well.
Loose ball picked up by Raymond Ryan. Ray Ryan, they call him. Heavy knock there. And Tony Brown.
And he's having a super game again, Tony Brown, today. You know, he's just incredible. 37 years of age to be playing at this level it's unprecedented, really, I think, and especially in this era with all the physical training and fitness that's required.
Tony Brown, hurler of the year back in 1998, coming on as another hurler of the year with more recent times as well. That's, of course, is Dan Shanahan.
Yeah, there's 3 subs. It looks like Morris, Dan Shanahan and Ken McGrath all warming up.
Here comes the fray. Donald Cusick got a touch to it. It's actually deflected over the bar. Owen Kelly and Donald Cusick combined there. 7 points for Owen Kelly. Shane O'Sullivan gets by Ben O'Connor. Long ball again is pumped in towards John Milan. Shane Walsh and Milan. Brian Murphy is there, so too is John Gardner. Down the middle towards Cusson. Nipping in Michael Brick Walsh. Good ball. Diagonal. Poses problems. There's a chance here. Oh, what a goal! Owen Kelly. Brilliant player. Beats a brilliant keeper in a Munster final that has absolutely sparkled to life. Dull, boring even. Opening 37 minutes. What about this? For a cracking shot that has brought Semple Stadium, all 35,000 people, to their feet.
Well, what a ball by Brick Walsh across it, but Owen Kelly just stands up Shane O'Neill and rocket into the roof of the net. A brilliant goal. And now you'd rarely see this at this level of hurling, but you have 3 substitutes coming in at one time. Dan Shannon, Maurice Shannon, I think, and Ken McGrath. You know, it's a lot of changes. It could disrupt the team or it could work for you. And you know, just after the goal there, and it certainly brought a big bit of spark to the whole proceedings.
Drama in Semple Stadium.
Ken McGrath gone in on Cathal Naughton. You know, it's a big ask for Ken to stay with Cathal Naughton. But there's a great buzz around here now. What a second half, Marty. You said it there. The first half was, you know, very, very low key, but a brilliant, brilliant second half. And this is what we came here for today, and it's living up to all expectations now.
Dan Shanahan goes to the edge of the square. Maurice Shanahan and Ken McGrath all on. One point between the teams. Comes out first, Stephen Malumphey. Ray Ryan chasing it. Waterford showing a bit of character in this Munster final, as they have done so many times, this group of players. After suffering the shock of two quick goals from Esaki O'Halpine and Ben O'Connor, they have responded magnificently. And what about Davy Fitzgerald's game plan? Bringing in former All-Stars like Ken McGrath and Dan the Man, as well as young Maurice Shanahan, is a big gamble, particularly when Waterford were just finding their momentum. Let's see what happens. Noel Connors, in his second championship season, proving his worth at left corner back.
He's been absolutely brilliant, Marty Noel Connors in the corner. Absolutely brilliant.
Loose ball again. Ronan Kirk picked up this time by the aforementioned Maurice Shanahan. Hits it on the turn and it's gone wide.
I don't think there'll be much tactics, Marty, now for the last 10 minutes. It'll just be go for everything, and
it's all about passion now.
It's down to the wire now. All the tactics go out the window, and the ref in again to Esaki.
The umpire is calling the attention of the referee, Johnny Ryan, and I'm sure it involves the man on your screen, Esaki O'Halpine. No question in the mind of the umpire. Looked quite convinced, and it's going to have a word with Declan Prendergast and indeed Esaki O'Halpine. Yellow card for both, I would say, Michael.
That's what usually happens, you know. Esaki is still arguing his innocence.
So a yellow for Declan Prendergast, a yellow for Esaki O'Halpine. Long puck out again, Donald Cusick. Niall McCarthy chasing after this. Half blocked, comes across, far as Jamie Nagle. Sideline ball. Ger Hoy has been quite busy this afternoon. So another chance for Cork to put the ball into that Waterford half of the field. More substitutions coming on. This is Pa Cronin from Bishopstown, and the player that's taking off is Patrick Horgan, who by his very high standards that he set himself in this Munster Championship campaign will be disappointed.
Yeah, and we talked about Noel Connors and Owen Murphy. Both of them have been very, very good for Waterford today.
Good work again by Connors. Cathal Naughton. Fancy stuff from Naughton, and it worked out okay for him. Not quite. Comes back as Waterford put the pressure on. The Lee-siders go forward, floating this one in off the stick of Brian Murphy and Bride Rovers. Be 28 years of age in 10 days time, and it's quite a way to celebrate in a Munster final when you're the left corner back to come forward and score a nice point like this.
He'd normally be getting a nosebleed if he came that far up the field, but a brilliant point, and particularly marking John Milan now, you know.
Brian Gavin, the linesman, indicates it's a Waterford ball. Cork 2-13, Waterford 1-14. 2 points between the teams. Shane O'Sullivan going to take this. He's had a very, very impressive match in the middle of the field, hasn't he?
He's been very good, yeah.
Cuts it across. Chasing after it, John Milan. Might need a little bit of support over there, but he's going for the point. He's going to drop a little bit short. Donald Cusick managed to scoop it out for his Tom Kenny. And the danger averted temporarily. Again, there's no messing about. There's no running with the ball. They're giving it long. Down towards Michael Cusson and Asaka Ohapi. Comes all the way across towards Jamie Nagle. Here come Waterford. Seamus Prendergast. Carl Nocton gets a touch. Chasing after it again is Owen Kelly. Good block down by Carl Nocton. Shane O'Neill with it. Still Kelly. Floats it across. Underneath it is Dan the man. So too is Donald Cusick. Good play by the Cork keeper.
And that's great goalkeeping to go up there. Dan Shannon's about 6'3", a brilliant goalkeeping. A great block by Jamie Nagle.
Jamie Nagle proving his point with a fabulous block down on Pat Cronin. Still Cronin battling away. Loose ball outside. Comes to Ben O'Connor. Sending it in towards the corner, towards Paddy O'Sullivan. They call his brother Dermot the Rock. They call this man Pebbles. Across the field, towards Niall McCarthy. The move has worked. The white flag will be raised. It's McCarthy's first point in the Munster final. Created by Paddy O'Sullivan.
Yeah, great score there again. Ben O'Connor showing all his experience, carried the ball and waited, gave it into the corner, a lovely ball back across from Paddy O'Sullivan, who I believe is playing brilliant down in Cork and training and very close to making the starting team.
Now the Cork's total of 2-14, 2-9 from play, which is quite impressive, considering that so few forwards scored early. Now Dan Shannon is in there, but the umpire is signalling wide. The referee is hesitant about going in. It was Owen Kelly that was inside there actually.
All it needed was just
a little
the
touch.
touches. Yeah, John Milan there sort of mishit it, went for a point just here, just missed it, and fairness, nothing malicious there. Don Lowe going for the ball as well and out wide.
Certainly not happy about that decision by the referee. Just had a verbal exchange with the referee. And physio Peter Kerwin and medical team Dr. Tom Higgins all there.
You know, it was just a clash, Marty. There's nothing, a ball like that, you couldn't give a free or it'd be a penalty if it was a free. It wasn't a penalty, and all eyes were on the ball. You'll see there. But
it was a fair tussle.
Fair tussle, absolutely.
Puck out by Don Logue, aimed at Pat Cronin. Oh, well done, Jamie Nagle. Sending it down towards the half-forward line that is so dramatically changed. Maurice Shanahan, it's Donald Cusick that's there. Has the time to compose himself. Send it back down the middle towards Shane O'Sullivan. Ball over for centre half forward and captain to chase Stephen Malumphey. But Carl Nocton is there. Michael Cusson. Noel Connors, outstanding all the way through at left corner back. Brian Murphy, Ronan Curran, switching play over to this side. Ron Murphy comes across, hits it with the left. Maurice Shanahan can't quite hold on to it. Easy ball for Tom Kenny. Paddy O'Sullivan. 4-2 in favour of Waterford in there. Now who has it? Jamie Nagle. Free to Waterford with less than 2 minutes on the clock. Goal between the teams. Are Cork heading for their 52nd Munster Championship title. Davy Fitz is urging his players to spread it out, open it up. as the free is taken by Jamie Nagle. Dan Shanahan hovering. This is Shanahan getting inside. The last touch is by the Waterford man. And the umpire has signalled for a 65. Umpires and referees very much in the headlines today.
I think they always are, Marty. They're never far from controversy. Interesting to see now. I think there's going to be 4 minutes injury time just heard there, and so really he should probably put this over the bar. If it was in the last minute, okay, lob it in, but I think he should stick this over.
Scored 7 times this afternoon. Owen Kelly. He's putting it over the bar. Now, how much injury time? 4 minutes has just come up on the clock in front of us here down the sideline.
Okay.
Fourth official has raised it to everybody. That's the cheer. 4 minutes to decide the Munster Championship senior title 2010. Cork 2 points to the good. Waterford with possession. Shane O'Sullivan has given it absolutely everything. John Gardner, Owen Kelly. Kelly chases after this, gathers. Half blocked and indeed gathered by Tom Kenny, who's fouled subsequently by Seamus Prendergast. And Cork will take their time. Michael Cusson seems to have picked up a arm injury or shoulder injury. Dr. Con Murphy gives him the tap on the back. There's a bit of time wasting by Cork, I feel. John Gardner drives it long, aiming again at Asaki and Paddy O'Sullivan. Good work by right corner back, Owen Murphy. Going back to gather is Ken McGrath. Sent down the wing. Cork defensively strong. Park Cronin. Michael Cusson willing to take on Shane O'Sullivan. Referee blows the whistle. He's given a free to Cork, and it's a vital decision. It gives Cork a chance of increasing the lead, but it also wastes time.
Yeah, Michael Cusson there, I think it's harsh enough. He might have just been clipped on the heel, but he's made a big contribution. Michael Brick Walsh has had a brilliant game, but what Cusson has done is any ball he's got, he's used it very, very well, and he's had a hand in 3 or 4 scores, and again won that free.
35,375 have really enjoyed the second half in particular of this Munster final. Ben O'Connor with the free and the point. Puck out is quickly taken. Out fires Jamie Nagle, breaks the hurl and trying to deliver it long. There's a chance here perhaps, coming across is Shane O'Neill. Very good defending by the right corner back. Anticipated what was happening and reacted quickly. But now he's given the ball away. And there's a chance here. Dan Shanahan trying to cut it across. Ray Ryan is there for Cork, so Tuchel knocked it. He wants the hand pass. Delivers it out. Doesn't go too far. Ken McGrath floating one in. Waterford need to get a touch. The referee has blown his whistle, and it looks like he's giving a free to Waterford. They were protesting, particularly John Milan. Referee Johnny Ryan, immediately to his credit, blew the whistle. Chance for Waterford. Has to go for it here.
Yeah, silly free for Cork to give away. No danger of ball going out wide. A bit of a chop down on top of John Milan.
Remember, 4 minutes of additional time was announced. We have now 3 minutes played of that additional time. Owen Kelly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Cork men. 1 Waterford man. Here's Kelly. Stopped. It's there again. And Waterford have it.
Tony Brown there to come up from wing back.
At 37 years of age. What a man. Watch this again as Waterford will not be beaten here in Semple Stadium. when you think after the 2-goal strike by Saki O'Halpine and Ben O'Connor, they responded with a cracking goal by Owen Kelly.
Will it load up now? There's 30 seconds to go.
30 seconds. Is there a match winner here? Drama in Croke Park for all sorts of wrong reasons. Here's Cussin. Is he the man? He drives it wide. The Munster hurling final is heading for a draw, surely. From the previous 57 times that they've met in the Munster Championship, there have only been 4 draws. The last time they met was in the league in Walsh Park in Waterford, when it ended in a draw. And the Munster hurling final of 2010 has also ended in a draw. Well, it was a pretty poor first half, but what about that, Michael?
What a second half. 7 points to 6 at half time, 2:15 apiece at the end. What a second half. Brilliant second half. Had everything, had great goals, some great performances throughout the field on both sides, and a fantastic second half. And I think maybe a draw maybe is, fair, I think, to Waterford. They were dominant for long periods. Cork took over them for 10 or 15 minutes, and then Waterford showed great resolve to come back into the game again. And I think at the end of the day, both teams will be happy with the draw.
And the price on a draw, Michael, before the game was 10-1.
10-1, yeah. Which we keep saying it. There's always draws in the championship, but maybe we should invest in them. But I think we didn't see a replay, I think, of the last goal. But Owen Kelly's free was saved. There was 7 on the line, and next thing, this man flashed in out of nowhere and buried it. And I knew straight away it was Tony Brown.
Well, let's have a look at it here.
We're having a look, but if you watch
Owen Kelly.
Yeah. But I saw this man flying across here. There's Tony Brown, a rocket off the ground into the back of the net. And he showed all his experience following through, and a great strike, and fair play to him, a brilliant goal to draw it.
Hurler of the year, 1998, comes out to Tony Brown, whips it on the grass. Let's just watch it here again. Kelly was there as well, but it was Brown that got the touch. You're dead right, Michael Dignan, and we're going to have to go to a replay in this Munster hurling final.
You're talking about 1998. We won the All-Ireland that year. I was on an all-star trip with Tony. It's hard to believe it's so long ago that that's 12 years ago, and he was the top player in the country that time, and he's still one of the top players. And there's Brian signing a few autographs there, and they have a long wait now to their semi-final. But this replay is going to be brilliant for both these teams. It's going to be another big championship game, particularly for whoever wins it. If you lose it, and you have to go and play a quarter-final then, but it'll be on next weekend now, I presume, and it'll be a great game for them in preparation for the All-Ireland semi-final for whoever wins it.
Jim Forbes is bringing the cup away. He's the PRO of the Munster Council. It's going to be put away for a little while because Cork and Waterford have to do it all again. In fact, when they last met in the 2007 Championship, that was of course the All-Ireland quarter-final, it was Cork 3-16, Waterford 3-16, and Waterford won the replay.
Yeah, well, look, I fancied Waterford. That they might just do it this evening. I gave them a right chance of doing it today. Cork looked like they had it won, so you don't know. A replay will take on a life of its own again, and who knows what will happen next weekend.
What about this for a second half? Saki O'Halpine, 52 minutes, scored a wonderful goal. Ben O'Connor 2 minutes later on 54. Owen Kelly on 58 scored a wonderful goal. And at the very end, 73rd minute, Hurler of the year, 1998, 37 years of age, Tony Brown scored the equaliser. Full time in Semple Stadium, Thurles, the home of hurling for everybody from Munster. Cork 2:15, Waterford 2:15.